Representing Kwande Ushongo Federal Constituency, Benue State. Good morning, and you're most welcome to the morning show.
Do you believe, are you convinced that there is Christian genocide in Nigeria?
Dr. Ruben, I will just put it like this. If the totif of the entirety of people worldwide mentioned in front of the president that there's genocidal killings in Benue, if the bishop of the Makudi diocese himself confirmed that there's Christian genocide in Benue, and if the people themselves who have been killed, people in my federal constituency, in my village, who have been killed and tortured and displaced from their communities for 15 years, systematically refusing their return to their ancestral lands, who am I to deny that there's no Christian genocide in Nigeria? The truth of the matter is there's genocide taking place in many parts of Nigeria. Now, the question is, when we think about genocide, we remember the Tutsi genocide. We remember the southern Darfur genocide, the southern Congo, We remember the genocide against the Jews by the Nazis. So it brings back very negative memories of what genocide actually is. So it is unthinkable that our people, a Tiv ethnic group of Nigeria, Benue State as a whole, will be subjected to genocide. I don't believe that the Tiv people of Nigeria can be wiped out, or Benue State can be wiped out from the face of this country. But the truth of the matter is there is a systematic genocidal attack against many communities in Nigeria. Able to say exactly what was discussed in the meetings in the government house in Benue, or what was discussed during the closed-door meetings with the bishops, because the National Assembly caucus was not invited by the state government to participate in these meetings. Don't forget that as an assembly, we have what we call parliamentary friendship groups, where we engage with our counterparts in America and UK and other parliaments across the world. And I'm a member of many of these parliamentary friendship groups. I have been to Washington, D.C. to meet with our colleagues in Congress in America. So we expected that if a congressional delegation is coming to Benue on a fact-finding mission, then members of the National Assembly should have been invited to engage directly with them. But however it is, we have our channels where we also engage with members of Congress in America and other countries around the world. And don't forget that 2 years into the first year into my tenure in the National Assembly, I sponsored a documentary on the IDPs and the insecurity situation in Benue State. This documentary got international attention, and it is one of the tools that has really showcased the killings, the displacements, and the genocidal attacks going on in Benue State. And so we are hoping that as part of the discussions with the American delegation, one of the things that will be put in place is a mechanism through which we can raise funds and we can come up with programs and initiatives to resettle the over 600,000 IDPs that are currently in Benue State, one of the highest in Nigeria. And this was also confirmed by the representative Riley Moore, who was also part of that delegation, that what he saw physically, and this is what we have been crying about for many years now. Benue State has become the IDP capital of Nigeria, which is really, really unfortunate. And we're hoping that these discussions that have taken place at the state level with the government and with the bishops would have put in place a mechanism through which we can resettle IDPs and get them into productive activities for the benefit of our dear state of Benue State. Rufai, this is absolutely the reflection of what is happening on the ground in Benue State. I have personally cried about this situation for many, many months since I became a member of the National Assembly. In my federal constituency, in my local government, particularly of Kwande local government, we faced this crisis for many, many years. For over 15 years, there's been killings, there's been displacement, there's been mining, there's been rape. Our people are systematically being displaced from their ancestral land. I made an interview some months ago where I said almost 40% of arable land in Benue State has been taken over by bandits and by terrorists. So, so this is a systematic claiming of our land. Our people are not able to farm. Benue State has the highest food inflation in Nigeria because our people are able to farm. Benue State used to be the food basket of the nation, but now we have lost that ranking because a majority of our people are unable to farm and are able to live productive lives because of these killings. We've lost a lot of lives in Benue. The IDP situation is really, really bad in Benue State. It is worse than it is even portrayed. I can assure you that we did a documentary. We went around the entire state. We started from Zone C in in Agatu, where there's one of the highest cases of IDPs and displacement and maiming and killing. But this is even underreported. Most of the report even talks about the Tiv-speaking areas of Benue State. The Idoma-speaking areas also face a lot of challenges, a lot of attacks and displacement. This issue is really serious. It is time that we take this matter very seriously. The federal government of Nigeria, I'm happy that there's pressure now on the government to do something about this insecurity that we're facing in Benue. I hope that the collaboration with the American government, with the federal government, the unity of our people is paramount. It is important that heads together and bring a permanent solution to this issue. If not, just like what happened in Darfur, or what happened in Rwanda, where the people, the governments around the world looked away. The government at the time looked away until they think the issue became an extreme issue of over 800,000 people killed in the genocide in Rwanda. We hope that our government here, us as the leaders, will not bury our heads and look away until this issue becomes an international genocide that we will not be able to deny, as some leaders have denied recently about there's no genocide, or have denied the extent or downplayed the kind of killings going on. We hope that we don't look away, we don't deny these killings until it becomes too late and we experience full-blown killings and full-blown genocide in our dear country, Nigeria. Number one, the figures by the congressman from America of 600,000 might even be underestimated. In fact, the state government figures from the State Emergency Management Agency puts the figures at over 1 million displaced people. Sometimes they even mention 2 million displaced people across Benue. Many of the displaced people don't live in IDP camps. Many of them have been displaced and are living in the communities, have moved to other communities, moved to the local government capitals or to the state capital. So sometimes they are unable to be calculated as a fraction or a component of the displaced people in Benue State. But I can assure you that that figure might even be less than that. The situation is really bad. And then secondly, you mentioned about my relationship with the governor. Well, it was an unfortunate situation. Over a year ago, palliatives were given to me by NEMA to take to my constituents, and the governor seized these palliatives illegally and impounded these things in Government House, even after the recommendation of all the security agencies and even his own staff to release the palliatives. He played politics with that situation and did not release. Eventually, when he released the palliatives, he released it to be distributed to his political cronies and his political friends in the local government, and the palliatives didn't end up going to the people for which I applied for these palliatives for. I sued the state government and the state governor himself for defamation of character, accusing me of diverting palliatives, which was not true. Not one single piece of palliative was missing anywhere. And the case went on, and the government applied a diversionary approach.
Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Stay blessed.